Well, yeah, another edition of the Stats and Stacks podcast. We're talking wild card weekend, baby. We're talking about playoffs. Last week, weird week. All of the dogs we chose covered. All of the locks we had failed. And we split with the round. So overall, weird week. Hey, the playoffs started a week early, and this is another one that I think is going to be a little weird, but we're here to walk you through it, at least try to at least. Again, make sure you give this video a like, smash that like button, follow us over on Twitter, over on Instagram, over on TikTok, whatever there is, we have it, baby, and we're here to get you some money. So let's jump into this wild. This called Wild Card Weekend for a reason, and I'm ready to get real wild this week. So let's go ahead and start with the very, very first game here. We have those damn Las Vegas Raiders going to go against the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals minus 5.5 favorites. Over under set at 49. Let's see. Honestly, happy for the Raiders. Honestly, proud of the Raiders, the way they handled the season, all the adversity they had to deal with. I was rooting for them to be successful, and they sure enough were. However, they're an AFC team, so they can only be so successful because, we have the Bills in here. So when it comes to this particular game, over under at 49 that's an interesting number. I want to say the over. However, it's Joe Burrow's first playoff game. It is Derek Carr's first playoff game. There might be some playoff jitters. So I'm actually leaning the under here just because both quarterbacks have never seen the playoffs. Honestly, majority of both rosters have not seen the playoffs. Jamar, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, Joe Burrow. We have Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Zay Jones. None of these guys have ever seen the playoffs, so we don't know how they're going to react. Darren Waller, who knows? So let's take the under. In regards to who we're picking, we're going to pick the Cincinnati Bengals. They played earlier. Bengals dismantled them. I haven't seen a lot change here. I don't know what they think is different, and they dismantled them in Las Vegas. They're coming to Cincy. I understand that the weather might be a little bit of a factor. However, it's going to affect both teams. I was thinking, well, that might slow down that Cincinnati pass game. It doesn't matter. Joe Mixon is better than Josh Jacobs. They still have the superior running back. So, I mean, I know the Bengals defense is a little shaky. It can be hot, it can be cold, it can be hit, it can be missed. You don't know what they're going to do. They're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but the Raiders don't have that offensive firepower to just get that W. So the pick is going to be the Bengals. The bet's going to be the Bengals. But honestly, I might lean the under here. All right. And then the next game, we have those Buffalo Bills circling the wagon against the New England Patriots. Over under set at 44. Bills minus 4 is the line as the favorite. Yeesh. This does scare me a little. It sounds so stupid. I'm always too nervous for my own team. However, you got to trust the roster. I know there are stupid things like streaks where if Alabama loses the championship game, the Patriots win. Like there's weird streaks going on. There's Bill Belichick in the playoffs, but eventually some of these boogeyman personas are going to have to go, and you just have to trust the better team. When it comes to the run game, the Patriots are superior. That is it. Bills have the better defense. Bills have the better quarterback. Bills have playoff experience. No one on the Patriots really does outside of their coach. Bills have better tight end. Bills have better line. Like they're better everywhere. So at the end of the day, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. But as long as the Bills do what they're supposed to, they have the talent and they're working hard. So pick is going to be the Bills. Bet's going to be the Bills. I hate betting my own team, but I have no choice here. And it's not as if the weather, everyone's talking about, oh, it's going to be a really cold game. You can still catch the ball in the cold. It might snow a little. You can still catch the ball in the snow. The wind was another factor when they played. But coldness, they'll be perfectly fine. Bills by a million. Nah, the pick isn't Bills, but it's going to be the Bills. Then we have probably the least competitive game here. We have the Eagles going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are reeling right now. They're very, very hurt. Again, they have 0 receivers. They went from having the best receiving core to having one of the worst. Playoff Lenny is getting activated. David is coming back. They're getting a lot of their pieces back. They're just not getting their receivers, but everyone else is coming back. They still have Brady. They still have Gronk. They still have that defense, or sorry, the rush defense. They're still a good team. The Eagles, they get all their wins by running the ball. So playing against the Buccaneers is kind of a bad matchup for them, in all honesty. Matchups are key, matchups are everything. So that doesn't really bode well for the Eagles here. Jalen Hurts is going to be his first playoff game. That doesn't bode well for the Eagles here. And the Bucs are the defending champs. Basically, everyone on the team has been in the playoffs and won a Super Bowl. They brought the whole same team back. So the over-under set at 46. I don't mind the over. Tampa Bay minus 8.5. When the line was crazy, I was all over the Eagles covering. I don't know if they cover 8.5. The pick is going to be the Bucs. The bet would be the Bucs. All right, then the next game, there's always wildness. I was excited to bet the 49ers. That seems to be everyone's darling, so that kind of pushed me off of them. Dallas minus 3-point favorites. The line is going towards the 49ers. Over under set at 51. Although everyone's excitement for the 49ers is making me a little deterred, I'm still going to pick them, baby. I think this is going to be one of the upsets. We have the 49ers coming into Texas and dismantling, not even dismantling. I think the over's going to hit. I think it's going to be a shootout, in all honesty. I think Debo's going to lose his mind. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to lose his mind. I think Dak is going to play well. I think Jimmy's going to play well. I think it's going to be an offensive explosion, in all honesty. And we're going to see the Steelers Chiefs. We're going to see the Eagles Buccaneers on Sunday. We need some excitement. They threw that Cowboys 49ers game right in the middle. They knew to get everyone excited. So I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think the 49ers are just going to come out on top at the end of the day. So the pick are going to be the 49ers. The bet's going to be the over. The bet, honestly, at plus money, give me the 49ers money line, baby. Then the next game, we have the Steelers going up against the Chiefs. Chiefs minus 12.5 favorites. Hate it. Over under set at 46. Hate it. The Chiefs have a tendency not to cover these large spreads. Steelers, man, they are not good. I know they beat the Bills earlier. I know they swept the Ravens. I know they beat some. Damn, they're just not good. They're falling apart. Big Ben can't throw a football. Najee Harris is good, but there's no line. Their defense is they have a decent pass rush, but they can't stop the run. These teams already played, and the Steelers got picked apart. Every part of my being wants to pick the Chiefs. I just don't like 12.5. They don't like covering big spreads. Everyone's going to be on that because they beat them by like 30 the first time they met. I think things are going to be different here. But I'm still going to end up going with the Chiefs. Yeah, I think it's just too much. And Travis Kelce wasn't even there the last time they played. So the pick is going to be the Chiefs. The bet is for them to cover, I suppose, the 12.5. And then for the first time, we have Monday night playoff football. We have the the Arizona Cardinals going up against the LA Rams. LA Rams minus 4 favorites. They did play. Again, they're in the same division. They played twice and they split. Over under set at 49. This is a weird one. I think the Rams are the superior team, but I think the Cardinals win this game. I think they're my second dog play of the week. I don't really have any rhyme or reason, but I just kind of have a gut feeling that they're going to come out and they're going to get a win. Matthew Stafford's never won in the playoffs. Again, he's had terrible Lions team, so I'm not holding that against him. Kyler Murray, it's his debut, and I think Kyler is one of these guys that come out and they ball out in a playoff debut. In all honesty, I had the same gut feeling against the Cowboys, and I said, please bet the Cardinals. They're going to win this game by hook or crook. Sure enough, they came out and they won the game. And I'm getting that same gut feel. Like, I really don't have a lot of explanation. Even if DeAndre Hopkins plays, he's not going to be the same. Hopefully at least be a decoy for Jalen Ramsey. If Ramsey wants to shadow, good luck, because the rest of that Rams secondary is not that great. Granted, the Cardinals receiving core isn't the greatest thing in the world, but I just think they're going to find a way. Pick is going to be the Cardinals. Bet as dogs. Give me the Cardinals money line, baby. And honestly, not a lot of games here. Obviously, we're in the playoffs. So instead of harping on all of this stuff, we're actually going to go ahead before the playoffs start and take a look at our brackets. And we're going to do it two ways. We're going to do a way that I legitimately think is going to happen and a way that I want to happen, in all honesty. So we have the very first game. Again, we already chose who we think are going to win here. But let's just see how this could play out without thinking of betting. I'm just thinking about who's winning. We can look at, obviously, Tennessee and Green Bay have a bye. We're going to start over in the AFC. Vegas going up against Cincinnati. I have Cincinnati winning that game. Buffalo versus New England. I have Buffalo clearly winning that game. When it comes to Kansas City and Pittsburgh, I have Kansas City winning that game. So with all of those wins, that's going to take us over to, that would end up being Tennessee as the 1 seed going up against the 4 seed in Cincinnati. Then we have Buffalo as a 3 seed going up against Kansas City as a 2 seed. I think everyone wants to see that matchup. When it comes to Tennessee and Cincinnati, I actually have, I think Cincinnati can win that game. I know Derrick Henry's coming back. I know Tennessee is always being slept on and disrespected. However, I just feel like the Bengals have too much firepower. They're going to be the hot team, and I think they're going to beat Tennessee. Bills, Kansas City. You know what? I can't. I take that back. I think the Bengals are going to win their very, very first playoff game for the first time in like 30 years. Tennessee's too disrespected. I need to stop disrespecting them. I have Tennessee winning that game. Tennessee is going to beat the Bengals in the divisional round. Bills, Kansas City. Put bias aside, we've seen this game this year and the Bills killed them. Is the game closer this time? Absolutely. I think it's going to be more of how we saw with the Bengals in Kansas City. But if you have a team that can match Kansas City, that defense is not good. As long as you can keep up, you can win that game. And I think the Bills are going to do it again. I think they're going back to back. They're sick of losing to Kansas City, and they're going to come out and they're going to beat them. It's going to be a close one, but I have the Bills winning that game. That gives us Bills versus Tennessee. I know they played earlier. The Bills should have won that game. If Josh Allen doesn't fall on the 1 yard line, the Bills win that game. However, Tennessee is growing confidence. Their defense is better than it was back then. So bias aside, I'll actually take Tennessee to go to the Super Bowl. When it comes to the NFC side, we have the Rams, Cardinals. I'll go ahead and I'll take, who do I think is going to win? I'll take the Rams. Outside of gut feelings and just ways to win, we'll take the Rams. When it comes to Dallas, San Francisco, I'm still taking San Francisco. I really do truly think they win. Not to be on the bandwagon like everyone else, but I really do think they win that game. And then Tampa versus Philly. I think Tampa's going to absolutely smash Philly in this instance. That takes us to Green Bay as the 1 seed playing the 49ers. And I think the 49ers are going to have their Super Bowl winning against Dallas and then kind of finally fizzle out after playing the Rams to stay alive, after playing the Cowboys to stay alive. I think Green Bay finally takes them out. That takes us to the Rams versus Tampa Bay. We also saw that earlier in the year. And I do think that the Rams get the better of this Tampa Bay, this depleted Tampa Bay. I think the Rams can kind of control. They're kind of, you can literally have Ramsey shadow Mike Evans, and then no one's really scared of anyone else there. And then you have the pass rush. You have Donald. You have Von Miller getting a little better coming at him. Tampa Bay has zero pass defense. They cannot stop the pass. You have the best receiver in the league right now in Cooper Kupp. You have Odell, you have Van Jefferson streaking. I think the Rams take out Tampa. And that leaves us with Green Bay versus Rams. And I actually think that's a close one. We saw that game as well earlier. And I think Green Bay gets it done again. I think they finally break that AFC Championship curse, and they finally make it back to the Super Bowl after like 10 years. And then we have a Titans-Packers Super Bowl. I know it sucks. It's 1 seed versus 1 seed. Not a lot of excitement. If that does happen, I think the Packers do win. And I think the Packers are your Super Bowl champions. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't return. He did what he had to do. He wins his title, and then he goes off into the sunset. He gets a second ring and does whatever the fuck Aaron Rodgers wants to do. But we don't really want to see that. What we want to see is the Bills Super Bowl. How do they finally get over the hump and get that Super Bowl? They need a little bit of help. We're looking at that Bengals Vegas game. We're going to do this whole thing over again. And we have the Bengals winning. Then we have the Bills, New England. The Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. So clearly they're winning that game. Then we have Kansas City and Pittsburgh. You still have the same thing. We have Cincinnati winning, Bills winning, Kansas City winning. But here, I will take the Bengals. The Bengals do stand a chance against Tennessee. Don't get me wrong. I think Tennessee probably wins. But I see the Bengals actually coming through in this one. I think it's 50-50. So give me the Bengals. That gives us Kansas City. Bills beat them before. We'll beat them again. So that leaves us to a Bills-Bengals AFC Conference Championship. Give me the Buffalo Bills. They're basically the same team, only we were in the conference championship last year, and this time we do not stand on the sideline and watch the other team celebrate. I think the Bengals win 2 games in their first playoff appearance. I think the Bengals are the Bills of last year. They come out, they impress, they make it all the way to the championship game, and they lose, and they come back strong next year. But that's next year. This year is the Bills year. Bills in the Super Bowl. On the NFC side, we have Green Bay with the bye. So we have the Rams and the Cardinals. Give me my gut feeling Cardinals to win that game. We have San Francisco and Dallas. Again, the 49ers are going to win that game. Give me San Fran. When it comes to Tampa, Philadelphia, I think Tampa's reeling, but they are going to get over Philadelphia. So that puts us at Green Bay versus the 49ers. And that is a matchup where Green Bay played them this year and won by a field goal with the Aaron Rodgers comeback. It is not a good matchup for them. They played in the playoffs before, these same teams. And San Francisco won to make it to the Super Bowl. They have a problem. They do not match up well with San Francisco and Green Bay. So go ahead and give me the upset with the 49ers yet again. Then we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals have surprised this year, but this is where the run ends. The 49ers run continues, but the Cardinals does not. Tom Brady is going to take out Kyler Murray, and that leaves us with the Tampa Bay versus 49ers championship game. And the 49ers juice finally runs out. Tom Brady in the playoffs. Give me a depleted Tom Brady. And then you have the rematch. You have the Bills going up against Tampa Bay. It was fireworks in the first meeting this year. It went to overtime. There was a lot of controversy. The Bills started slow. They came back. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers came out fast. They slowed down. There were a lot of calls. There were a lot of pass interference calls that went through. There were a lot of pass interference calls for the Bills that were not called. There was a lot of controversy in that game. They don't need overtime this time. I'm going to take those Buffalo Bills. There's no Chris Godwin. Leonard Fournette is not the same currently. There's no Antonio Brown. The Buffalo Bills get the job done this time. And that is our predictions for the wild card weekend. That are our picks and bets. Those are our predictions for the overall playoffs. It's been one hell of a season. Probably going to leave it alone after this. We might do some picks and bets next week, the divisional round, but to be determined. Not a lot of games to pick from, but again, gave this video a like over on YouTube. Give it a follow over on Twitter or on Instagram, over on TikTok. Everywhere you can go, this podcast is going to go, and what we're going to do is get everyone paid, baby. Till the next time.